Hello, Sag Rising. I'm Britten LaRue, and this is Scopes Unshamed for April 2026. This is my first ever Sagittarius Rising Scoped Unshamed. Scopes Unshamed. Welcome. Let's dive right into this. This is an exciting time for you. One of the really fun things about Sag Rising is that you have Aries in the house that we associate, or the realm of life that we associate with creativity, playing, hobbies. And Aries is a part of all of us that loves to take risks, that loves to dive in, that loves to get your hands really messy before you even really know what you're doing. There's like a lot of energy, even like kind of a drive, you could say, like a drive for play and for creativity and for hobbies. And so there's like a lot of fun fire for your creative and playful life. And this is the zone of focus for most of your April. I would say really all of your April, because not only do we have the sun moving through the sign of Aries for most of April, but we also have other planets, including Mars, who is the quote unquote ruler of Aries. So Mars is bringing like this really huge jolt of energy to like drive you into your next creative moves. This is a zone that's a really important part of your chart, I would say, for the next couple of years, because Saturn is also moving through your creative life where you just feel it may feel like a kind of determination, like a determination to focus, to give your time and energy to these hobbies, what you like to tinker with, what you like to create. And it might have even like more seriousness than it normally does, because there's just a kind of determination and a focus that is maybe not there as much. So just this is because this is a time when you're really like building something here. You're really building something with your creative life. And this particular month is going to give you a lot of information about what you want that to be. Now, sometimes that information of what you want to create in your creative life, what you want to focus on, sometimes that comes from desire. Like, I want this, like sometimes it feels like a clear desire. But we humans, we humans in 2026 have a complicated relationship to desire. We've been taught to shame desire. We've been taught to side eye desire. We've been taught that desire makes us lazy. We've been taught that desire makes us selfish. We've been taught that, when we get really passionate about things, we ignore our other people in our lives, we ignore our other responsibilities. So we may have gotten a lot of conditioning that makes do what you want a very complicated thing. And then you have even more shame because you're like, what does it say about me that I don't even know what I want? So we have to bring a lot of compassion to the topic of passion, because that's what Aries really is. You can kind of just like pop yourself back to being a kid and the kinds of hobbies and creative outlets that you enjoyed as a kid. There's some honesty there that can help you know yourself here in present time in your adult body. But there's another way that you can get a lot of information about desire that I have found, particularly in the Aries department. Aries is very hot, and so is Mars. Mars is very hot. So a lot of times they bring up inflammation, irritation, frustration, like a kind of turbulence. And depending on how you grew up, this may not have been an okay behavior. So you may have learned that that needs to get down and buried. Like that needs to be unseen. That is unsightly. It's like a low vibe. It's not feminine if you're in a femme body. It's toxic if like maybe when you were a kid you just like were honestly sharing your anger or rage and you were shamed for having those kinds of meltdowns. You may have just learned that fire is dangerous. People don't like it. It hurts people. It makes me inappropriate. It makes me unreliable. And so a lot of times then it can be difficult to get the information of our frustrations and irritations, including our competitiveness, because if we learned to shame like a healthy competition, even with ourselves, then competitive energy that would actually be very motivating and exciting and like really good information for us actually is also hidden. So, but these unsightly, shamed experiences in our bodies that we get, frustration, irritation, inflammation, this is really helpful, I found, because when we really meet them and ask them about themselves, like, hey, irritation, tell me, tell me what's irritating you. And we can really confront, meaning face, be in a face off with, in a conversation with that part of ourselves. Wow. Because that irritation is going to give you some honest news about what you don't like. And then when you say, well, how would you want it to be? That part of you will come roaring out and say, well, what I really want is this. And this is amazing, actually, because now we're clear. Now we're clear. Aha. Now we know what we want and we know we don't want. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Because this is a part of you that wants to go. You want to go. But your shaming of desire and of frustration is possibly holding you back. And so this astrology is coming in to be like, let's clear that shame. Let me help you. Sagittarizing and having some more honesty, having some more clarity with yourself. Would you like to be clear? Okay. We're going to have to meet some parts of you that you've not allowed yourself to be in touch with. Now, let's be real. Sometimes we don't want to see that information because the truth will be high sensation for ourselves or for other people. And so there's intelligence to the reasons why these things have been shoved underground. If we didn't feel that we had the capacity to act on the information that they give to us. But in present time, if you're here, you likely do have the capacity to be with this information and you do have the ability to self-resource through the high sensation of what comes up. And so I'm inviting you to, if these encounters and experiences happen with this fire within you, like this is part of a larger intelligence that's helping you with what you're here to be creating. What you're here to like really let move through you. Like our fifth house is also where you have Aries is like our offspring. It's your children, and that includes your creative children. That includes your students, if you're a teacher. And so allowing your creative life to have way more fire through the honesty of what you really want to create, what you really want to move through you, what you really want to get through. This is going to be so helpful because then you can pass on that honest information to Saturn. And Saturn the next 2 years is going to be helping you to build it out. Like, build, okay, now you know what you want, build it out. You have the support that you need to build it out. And if you have any fears about being a responsible person to what you need to build in this life, you will be given the opportunities to notice those things, to give yourself the compassion to be a human who's learning to be here and coming into experiences that are going to actually show you that you can be responsible to this. You can stay devoted to this. Saturn will insist that you do, and it will want you to remove any habits and things in your life that are confusing your devotion. So, if you you may be like, "Oh, I already know what you're talking about." Because that's how these things work. You just kind of already know. And with full compassion, this is all really empowering. But we humans tend to be quite afraid of our own empowerment. Why? Because we know that we will then need to make changes in how we run our life. And we humans tend to be very afraid of change. So have compassion that it can be frightening to face the unknown of who you are when you really get into this thing that's going to be coming through you, or the many things that are going to be moving through you with the support of this astrology. So don't forget that there is support everywhere that you look for it. And my sense for you this month is that there's a lot of support for you in your the daily things that you do to take care of yourself. Just really allow the rhythms of your daily sleep, eat, work habits to hold you. Like, let the rhythm of those things create the structure that you need, that you might even be afraid of. And let that structure hold you, let the rhythm hold you so that you can feel something there that's supportive. Thank you so much, Sag Rising. I will see you in May.